Alrighty. We might get started. Sorry? Not yet. All right, we'll get started. We're looking at around, everybody's played around with Google's slides before, but I'll show you a couple of things which you might not have played around with, and one which is probably a bit bigger, and we can decide whether we want to go on that. Thank you for coming. I know it's term 4. I wouldn't be doing this unless I had to kind of do it at this time of the year, but I know next year we'll be planning a few more, which it might be a little bit more kind of encouraged for people to come as well. I noticed, like Janine probably aside, with middle to upper, I think Google Slides is awesome for junior, and I almost think the juniors are missing it. I shouldn't say unless they watch the video, but juniors are missing out by not actually being experts at using Google Slide, because some of the things I'm going to show you is actually really junior orientated. So we're going to go through kind of how we use Google Slides. We're going to talk about the Q&A feature, which is probably really good for the upper primary school. But also, if you are put in a position like Bright or all of us, you know, when you are told to present something, the Q&A feature is actually a really good feature for, let's say, we were giving a session, you know, on writing skills, mathematics, you know, that sort of stuff. So it's actually quite cool. The Explore function, which I'm sure you've all seen, maybe not used, and also creating an interactive slide. And when I say interactive, it's more interactive and manipulative for the kids to use. Quite cool as well. So we'll go through those things. To start with, how have you used Google Slides in the classroom? And what would you like to learn when using Google Slides in the classroom? So what we might do is just quickly open up our classroom, the Mawson classroom, and it should appear any second now. There it is there. There's a Google Slides Jamboard there. If you want to open that up, and just quickly on those 2 slides, first one, how have you used Google Slides in the classroom? Second one, what questions do you have? And I put an example, how to insert video and audio, but you might all know that. Remember, the post-it notes are, or the sticky notes, are just there. Click them, add those. And please notice my beautiful background. It's a blackboard, just to make it look pretty. Yeah, the old-fashioned blackboard. So I've inserted an image. Magic 100-word slideshow. I like it. Okay. Oh, that's a great idea. Exemplar presentations for inquiry. Great idea. Maths questions, challenges. Cool. What do I not know? What don't you know? Let's start. And I suppose what I like about Google anyway is it's so easy to find out about anything, but it's almost like if you want to find out about something like how to do a video, there's plenty to do a research, or you just play around with it. It's almost like I want to know what I don't know. And you don't know what you don't know until someone says, did you know it could do this? I'm sure that all made sense. It made sense in my head. How to make templates. Yeah, we're going to go through that today, which is good. Am I missing other possible uses for slides? Yeah. How can I set it so the new slide is always a blank slide? Cool. That's a good question. Yeah. Inserting images. Is it possible to have an audio overlay? Yeah. Who posted about the audio overlay? Yeah, do you mean throughout the slide or? Yes, so you can now do audio files. It's finally allowed it, but not over continuous slides, just that one slide. Yeah, and it's the exact same way to insert videos now. Yeah, so and you hide the video off in a corner somewhere. Yeah, it's so good that it took forever to do that. All right, let's have a quick look. How is it different to PowerPoint? Oof, who knows? Create backgrounds. Cool, we're doing that today. Bookworks, cooperative groups, cooperative reading. Yeah, what we're going to do today is really how that will be useful as well. I'm going to pop back down to my slide now, and I'm going to go on to start. The first one is this Q&A, how to interact with the audience. Now, this is definitely setting it up when you're working with a class or a group of adults where they all have devices. Okay, you're not going to do this with a class of year twos or below if they don't know how to use Chromebooks and possibly don't trust them. Year three, I would do this with them, and I have done it with them, but not often. But they're a trained group, you know. So to do how to kind of do a Q&A session is I'm going to escape. This is my slideshow here. Typical slideshow. We've all used or seen these before. And I'm sure you've actually seen this option as well. Quite often we just press present. I'm going to click down here to the downward triangle and it says present to view. Okay, I'm going to click on this. Now this gives me an option to the side. Now this is great when I might have present to view here and I might have the open screen there. I am going to duplicate or the slide so you can see what I could see as well. So if I've got here, I've got my presenter view. We can put speaker notes and talk through that. So remember when you do speaker notes, I'm going to escape back out again. I can add speaker notes here and then we'll see. So this is a speaker note. And when I click back here, presenter view, hopefully, yeah, it gives me little teaching prompts and that sort of thing, which is fantastic to use, speaker notes. But the audience tools here, there's tools, there's only one tool at this stage. I say at this stage because I have a feeling I'll do more things. But click onto that, an audience Q&A. So basically this is, instead of the audience stopping you all the time to ask questions, they can type their questions up. Everybody else can see their question and the presenter can see their question. And that means I might be on this beautiful story about rainbows and sheep and all sorts of things, which I don't want to be interrupted with, how do you do? But I can glance there and see, oh, you need to know how to insert an audio. Probably don't care about rainbow or sheep. So to do that, I'm going to go start new. Now you'll notice up here, it's got on this slide now, it actually has a hyperlink. I'm going to just quickly copy this link address and put it in our classroom. I'll just paste it straight in there. Actually, I probably should do it. Q and A, and I'll put it down as a link. Link. So now if you open up that link, you will see, and I'm just going to use a different window now. This is a different account. It's my home account. If I open that up, this is what, if you put that link in, you will see this. And basically on your screen, it says, oh, Kent's doing a Google PL at Mawson. I can see it up on the screen normally, but I'm kind of showing what you might see now. And you can ask questions. Tell me about audio, not about sheep. Got it. Get in this. When I do submit there, I've asked that question. Now I'm going to go back to the presenter to see what the presenter sees. You'll notice, I'm going to click that there. You'll notice on this screen here, it doesn't come up on this screen, but my presenter screen, and I know this is kind of playing with people's minds a bit, me putting it up on the screen, you'll see that I have here, I can see that someone's asked me a question. So really cool. Now, the thumbs up and thumbs down, particularly the thumbs up, is guess what? There's 5 people thinking the exact same thing, asking the same question. So rather than ask the same question again, hit thumbs up. So that tells me it's an important question that 5 people out of my audience of 25 here, where are you, want to know the answer. Does that make sense? Cool. Can I get you to all open up that Q&A slide? Sorry? I haven't pressed, thank you. Sorry. I haven't pressed post yet. Minor detail. Yeah. So if you open that up now, it kind of means you can ask me questions at any time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play with a bit of voodoo magic here. There's an extension here, and I don't know if anybody's used it. I'm sure you know how to do this, but it's quite time consuming, where you have 2 screens up at once. This extension here, I'll click on it. I can't remember what it's called. Ooh, I should find out what its name is. But basically, I can choose to have 2 screens up there the whole time. So I might just grab my presenter view. Sorry if this is all playing with people's heads. I might put this one over here. And my presenter view, where'd my presenter view go? Over here. So I've got them opened all the time. So now I can always see that at least one other person doesn't want to know about sheep, but 4 people do, which is more surprising. Come on, Alicia, I saw that was you. You want to know about sheep. So the Q&A, as I said, it's probably really good if you're doing a session with senior kids and you're blurbing through something and sometimes you get sidetracked or whatever, and some kids aren't they're not going to interrupt. It's also because it's interactive, they're more likely to sit there. And as I said, you're going to train them, sit there going, I'm going to think of a question and put it up there because my friends are going to see this question. Everybody sees the question. And of course, we're going to train the kids that, yes, if you put a silly question or not quite appropriate question there, we're all going to see it. And I'm going to see it as a teacher. So it's just good to have that interactive ability. As I said, I've used it a couple of times with Year 3, not that often, but it just requires everybody to have a device open at the same time. How does... No, everybody sees this. Everybody sees this screen. Yeah, everybody sees that. So how did I do it? Do you want me to show you again quickly, Sally? No, we'll really... Yeah, basically, I'm just going to quickly... Yeah. Yeah, no problems. Yeah, I know, and that's where it's a trained audience, and you can't. Yeah, you've got to, and yeah, that's I suppose opening up for those people with stupid comments, but it's also opening up for those people who are a bit shy to ask a question where they might think everybody else is going to go, you didn't know how to press presenter view. Not that we do that, Sally. So, whoops. That all makes sense. So that's just a quick kind of how we do stuff. I'll leave that open for a bit. So if you do have more questions, it's pretty good to, excuse me, pretty good to use. I might minimize it a little bit more so we can see. If I see another one pop up, I can flip over to it. So the next part of what I was going to talk about today is Explore. Has anybody seen Explore yet? Bet you have. Anybody seen this button? Come on, you guys are observant people. I'm going to escape out of this. Escape. And even Might make my screen full size so we can all see this. And down the bottom here, this is Explore. Now notice it's grey. It's grey because it doesn't want to tell me too much, because it doesn't know what to tell me yet. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to go to a new slide. So remember, go through Drive to do a new slide, or new.slides. Oh, sorry, slides.new. Let's get it the other way around. Slides.new, and that'll just open up a new slide for you, and it's automatically saved in your Google Drive. So let's say I want to do something. I'm going to get rid of themes. Themes are, well, they're fairly limited with the themes. After you've seen the first 7 or 8, you can go searching online to find more, but I'm just going to get rid of that to start with. Notice it's still grey. I'm going to do something. Let's say I'm doing space exploration. All right, cool. Now, I want to do, or the kids want to do, a research assignment. I want to teach them, and someone said how to teach the kids to do good research and make their slides look better. Remember, slides or PowerPoint, it's all about presentation. You want it to look good. You don't want it to look the same as everybody else with those themes, and they're a bit boring. So I'm going to click down here to explore. The first thing it'll do is actually gives me different layouts. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting. Cool, I might change it to this one here. So there's like a nice different layout there. In Explore, basically this links nicely into Google. So I'm going to go space exploration. Let's enter. It gives me, hang on, do you know what a good trick is? And I'm sure you all know this. I always put for kids, because space exploration, now I think about it, could be quite complicated. How about we put 4 kids there, or just kids? So I can do also, but 4 kids. So now I've got kid-friendly sites. I've got the school run, I've got NASA Club, and a few other bits and pieces. So here, there is some fantastic websites straight away. Instead of doing a separate Google search, it's done within Explore. Within slides. So I might click on that. Let's click on the NASA Kids Club, open that up. It'll open up in a new tab, and there is some research there. Cool. Okay, so they've got some bits and pieces there. I'm going to go back to my presentation here. And I'll do this slowly. Oh, sorry, I'm going to click onto images. Here we've got some fantastic images once again, and I actually find these a little bit better than insert image. Okay, they're a little bit more kind of out there. I might choose this image. I can click and drag it like I've done it before, but I'm just going to click, and it'll open it up and say, oh, here's a nice image here. Would you like to use this? Now, these images, of course, you can use them. They are available for us to use as educators rather than getting an image which possibly isn't available. So I might insert that. I could have clicked and dragged, but I'll insert it there, and it'll put a picture in here. And it even got a nice link to where I got it from as well, which is quite important. If you're now saying to the kids, like, you're going to put pictures in there, you actually need to say where you get the information from. So it's already got that hyperlink of where they got the picture from. Now, that doesn't look as good as before. I'll click out here. What I'm going to do here is I'll click the backwards arrow, go back, go back, go back, and look at the layouts now. It's actually used that image to have a different layout again. So once again, my presentation looks 100 times better than what it was before. Instead of using themes, I've just done Explore, done a bit of a research, looked for a few pictures, and suddenly we've got some really nice, you laughing your oohs and ahs. Did you say moose? Moose, as in there was a great big moose which used to drink a lot of juice. There was a great big moose. Yeah, that one. So Explore, if I go back to my main slide here, Explore is really good to kickstart. Oh, actually, I was going to do one more really quick thing. Going back over here. I'm just doing space exploration, didn't I? Explore. Ration, cool. And I did for kids. If let's say I find a site, if I find a site, I might click and drag. Why is it grayed out? I'm just going to work out why that. Oh, there it is. If let's say I've got information, or I would like to send kids to particular sites, because let's be honest, the internet's kind of big. So I might want to put together a bit of a list. A really easy way again, and of course we can copy and paste sites, but I'm just going to click and drag this over here. And not quite sure what the resizing is there. Click and drag this up here. There is that site there. So if I share this with a class, share this with the kids, they've got those sites that I've looked at already as a link for them to go looking at. Does that make sense? You're just you're pushing them towards where you want them to start and possibly where you want them to finish. Okay, rather than saying, hey, we're doing space exploration, go have a look. And they might come back 3 days later with all sorts of information, none of it which they understand. And let's be honest, that's the amount of reports we read going, what does that mean? I don't know, but it says, says this stuff. So having a bit of a direction with search is quite important, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to click back here, explore. It is that little thing. It's yellow. Oops, come back here. It's yellow usually. You might actually, if you open it up and write a few more words, it suddenly turns yellow because it starts thinking ahead. Typical Google, it knows what you're thinking, and it will already, if you just hit it yellow, you don't even have to type in space exploration. It'll go, oh, space exploration, I can tell you stuff. But I've noticed that's a bit hit and miss. It works sometimes and other times it doesn't. So it's definitely an assistance for research and making our Google Slides look great. And also, and I'll hide this, and how do I make that one disappear? Can I never make it. Make that one or not? Cool. No, still there. Cool. Do you know, well, since no one had seen Google Explore before, it's also on Google Docs. And Sally, you'll love this. You loved using Google Sheets, or you love using sheets and numbers and stuff like that. Explore's there, and it's really good if you've got a data set that you want to present. If you click Explore, it'll look at those numbers and it'll give you so many different options of how to present them in color codes and all sorts of things. I haven't touched that much, but I know you love it. Yeah, so have a look at the Explore feature on Google Sheets as well. So in Docs, not just slides. So this is probably the interactive side of things. Drag and drop. Basically, if I want to set up a class, I can create let's say a Google Slides page, and I might set it up for every student here. So they all have access to this same page and do a drag and drop activity. And I'll show you what I mean by drag and drop activities. Ooh. Oh, why do we use them? Because they are interactive, collaborative, engaging. They allow the kids time to really take that active role. You think we want kids doing things, not just watching things. And as we know, having the kids doing things on paper and pen and actual activity is important. Well, this is like an activity, important activity they're actually doing online. And of course, it's paperless. Bonus, no extra photocopying. We won't get hassled by Norel about our over the budget. I'm going to click here, example time. If you have a look in a second, here's an example, and I borrowed these from someone who's doing the same training as I am at the same time. They've made a whole lot of these, so I've actually used a lot of their resources because they're great, and adapted them slightly. This is a drag and drop activity. So firstly, if we look at this first page here, it says drag the labels onto the correct place on the clock. So I can, whoops, I don't want, I can, and of course we teach the kids how to do this. Click that and then use arrows. I like to use arrows when I'm being the arrows rather than sliding, depending on how good you are with trackpads and that sort of thing. I can click on this and move it around to where I think it should go. Please don't, who's touching stuff? Stop touching things. I haven't asked you to touch anything yet. Yep, the chipmunk. Now I can move those things, but can I move this clock? No, I can't. Can I move the clock face? No, I can't. I don't know if you've ever done activities with the kids before and you create something and they click it and they move something and it's just like, oh, don't touch that. Just undo. We're going, what? I have only made the numbers and the hands they can move. Okay, everything else is stuck still. If I look onto the third slide here, once again, the clocks I can't move. The instructions they can't delete. The only things they can do is type their name. Okay, I can type my name up here, and even if they accidentally get rid of NAME, I don't care as long as I put their name, and they can move these boxes. So once again, you might teach them how to click on them and then use their arrows. So here's an example of a maths time activity, and year 3 time. What level are they? Clock faces up to telling time to the nearest minute. That's the range in a year 3 classroom. Similar probably in year 5, 6s. Hopefully there's not too many clock faces there, but there could be. I've got here a Google slide where I've differentiated slightly. I've got my clock faces activity. I've got this activity here where they are using analog and digital. I've got to the nearest 5 minutes. This is to the nearest minute. I've got from analog to words. So I've got all the same style activity, but lots of different pages. So I might then say to you, Jenny, can you do slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, slide 5, slide 6? So we are all working together on the same slide. Of course, we educate the class first, and if they start playing around with other people's slides, just let them know. We can tell by looking at history and looking at a few other things. We can tell if people are playing around with things. So then everybody does a different slide. Do you want to have a quick look at a different slide each? So choose, Jenny, do you want to choose 2, Sally 3, Leo 4, 5, 6? Go through those and just see how easy and hard it is to move the numbers around. Do you mind stopping with the time activity? I know you're having fun, but I'll keep us going if that's okay. I'm going to go back to our main slide. So that's just an example of how what we call drag and drop or manipulative using Google Slides. So there's another example of how you could do that using word sorts. And you can imagine spending all holidays because you're so keen with that extra device that the school has given you, making all these sorts to play around with and then give them to the kids. Now, the younger age group, how would we do that? Well, it is possible, even with iPads, and this is perfect with iPads but it's fine-tuning the technology to make sure it matches. It can be done, yeah. But of course, if they're able to, particularly year 2s, able to use Chromebooks, it's all good. So, how to do this? Basically, you're going to create a background, what the students can't move. Then you're going to do it one of 2 ways, and I'll show you both ways really quickly. Download the image, then upload a new background, and that'll make sense when I show you, or make a master background. To make the master background, quite easy, but I probably use the other one because it's just a bit more intuitive, kind of going, I make this, and then I turn it into a background, as in making masters, which is kind of the same, but anyway. And then you're going to add what you want the students to be able to move, and then you're going to duplicate the pages. So if you've got 10 students, you're going to have 10 different pages. Be aware you don't want them all on the same page unless it is a collaborative activity. You might say, I want you to have a page each, and I want you to work together on your computers. You might be sitting at different tables. So it can be collaborative, but not for a whole class. You don't want 25 kids all trying to change one page. 2, maybe 3. So, well, I'm going to set you a challenge in a second, but I better go through an example as quickly as I can. I'm going to come back here to my untitled presentation, get rid of all this. Actually, I might even just go to a new slide. So let's say I might start with, cool, let's get rid of that. So generally when you open up a new slide, it looks something like this. When I start, don't want these boxes, so I can click the downward and just make it a blank or insert a blank, or to make it nice and quick, I'm just going to highlight those two boxes, press delete or backspace, and now I have a blank screen. So starting with the blank screen, I better get my notes for this one because there's a few steps I'm going to go through. So first thing I might want to do is, because it's a new thing, I want to do a title or call it label. Let's do map of Australia. Let's go states and territories. So I've given that document a name. And the next thing I'm going to do is type I'm going to type a title. I'm just looking through my notes really quickly. Sorry about this. Blank. Cool. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put a picture of Australia because I want to do the states and territories. So I'm going to go image, search the web, and I might go outline of Australia. Oh, cool, perfect. And I might choose one with borders because I want the borders. I'm just going to click and drag that across. I might manipulate it a little bit, but bring it over here a little bit, make it a little bit bigger so it's taking up most of the screen there, maybe a little bit further. I might want to put a flag, not Among Us flag. I can drag that, put that over there. Oh, that's a bit big. Let's make it a lot smaller. So I'll go through this relatively quickly, but I think the more experience you get at it, you can actually do it quite quickly. Cool, got a map of Australia. I might put a text spots here, text spots, and put it up here and make it label, give you the instructions, label the map of Australia. Click on that, or double click, or Control A for select all, and to make it a bit bigger. Smaller actually. Cool. Change the fonts. Let's go. And I might just bring that over here a little bit. So there's got something there. Once again, I'm making the titles where I don't want the kids to be able to move. So then I'm going to do the instructions, another text box. Label states and territories, and it's probably, well, it is really important to put the instructions, obviously, so they're not going to ask you all the time. Whoops. Communities of Australia by dragging them, or the names, onto the map. Cool. Once again, I might just change the font slightly. Size is probably okay. We'll go up a few, and we might just move it slightly. So it's up here. I might bring this one across here. We'll turn into graphic designers what we want to look like. I might change the background, white boring background. So I'm going to click out here. Notice it has background. I'm going to change that background. Choose a color. I like using gradients these days, and you can play around with the gradients. Let's choose something like that. Done. So there we've got a nice little worksheet. It took me 2 or 3 minutes to make that up, but this is what we don't want them to be able to move. Okay, we don't want them to be able to touch any of this stuff. I think I've got everything I want on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go File, and this is the important bit, so make sure you're paying attention here. File, and then I'm going to go Download. And I'm going to turn that slide into a JPEG or a PNG, doesn't matter. Click on that. Awesome. I've got it down here, bottom left. Of course, if we're using Google Chrome, it'll always appear down there, or it downloads on the computer somewhere. So now I'm going to open up a blank slide. So I did the downward triangle there to choose a blank slide. And now I'm going to choose background. Click background. I'm going to choose an image. Click choose image. And then I'm going to upload it. Great thing about this is I'm just going to click and drag it over. Nice and quick. I don't have to go searching for the file. And that's always cool. And now I have, I have my background. I cannot change any of this, and the kids can't change any of it. It's probably only those smart buffs out there, and this is where they can do things, is they can click on background and change background. So if they start doing that, and you're not going to get it too much, hopefully, in primary school, they can change the background again, but hopefully they won't. So now what I want to do is, and I won't go through all of this because I want you guys to have a bit of a go. I can now make some labels. I'm going to use shapes here. Click shapes. I always use the kind of the rounded rectangle, nice and small, and I might type in Australian capital terms. I might make it a little bit bigger. I might change the size to nice and small. Oh, maybe a bit bigger than that. I can't even see that. Let's go a little bit bigger. There we go. 11 looks good. And I'm going to do a few things to this box before I do anything else, because I'm going to use this as almost my little template. Whenever I'm making buttons, I always get the first one right and then the other one. So I might change the color. Oops. I might change the fill color in that. So I've clicked on that fill color. I could use a gradient again. I might want a kind of a green color this time. Once again, I might change the font. We'll go, yeah, one of this one. And the outline color, the border color, I might do as either a contrasting color, or it could be a green as well, so it doesn't stand out so much. Okay, so when I click out, it looks like that. Now that's what I want them all to look like, so I'm going to highlight that and copy and paste. Control-C, Control-V. I'm quite sure we're all familiar with it. Then I'm going to change this one. New South Wales. Then I'm going to, because it's what it looks like, I'm going to highlight both of them. Control-C, Control-V. So now I have 4. Okay, change the rest, change the rest. Now I'd keep on change those 4, highlight, copy, paste, and then I've got 8 of them. Let's say pretend I have all 8 of them. So line them up. Whoops, see how they're all higgly-piggly there? For you to line them up easily, and I'm not quite sure if people have used this before, I'm going to click and drag over all of them. So it selects all of them. And I'm going to arrange, align, and to line things, align it up, let's say, on the left. So they're all lined up perfectly. Okay, so it's a nice and easy way to do things. Of course, the spacing up above, you can't quite do that way, so you might have to do that by eye, but at least they're lined up there. This is also really good because I'm about to set you a challenge, and the clue is I've aligned one way. If I align the other way, where would they all be? Or where? Should I look? Can I show you? So we've aligned them to the left. Okay, so now I'm going to go arrange, align to the top. Where are they? They're all on top of each other. This is really cool when we do the next activity, and I'll let you guys have a play with it because now I have things on top of each other. So let's say I want a lot of the same thing, and you don't want to put lots of them everywhere. If you put them all on top of each other, they kind of think, oh, I like to do is click and drag one over at a time. So it's like having counters there, all on top of each other, and they've got the counters. It only takes up one space. I'll undo that because I don't want them on top of each other. Anyway, does that all make kind of sense? So I was going to give you guys a challenge, and here it is. I've got a finished product, and this is the finished product here. This is once again from Heather. And she's created a question where she said, okay, you've got 4 lily pads. Sorry, she's created the question of 4 times 6, create groups to show the multiplication equation. Really good from year 3, year 2 level, maybe even a few students higher. So on this page, the only thing the kids can manipulate are the frog, lots of frogs. How many frogs does she need minimum of? She needs minimum of 24, possibly a few more just in case. And here the answer box. So we want the kids to be able to put the answer there. Should the answer be really teeny tiny or should it be nice and big? Nice and big, okay? So do you want to try create that? Go on. Or you can work in groups of 2, 3 or whatever, create that. See, it actually won't take you long if you think about, I need to create the background. What's on the background? The question, the instructions, the lily pads. That's all's on the background. Yeah, do that one. Yeah, I mean, you can do something more to your level if you like. You might, but this is definitely a nice activity for them. Here we go. Have a play. I think, trying to remember. Here's one that I made. It's quite cool. I'll see if I can find it easily. Drive. So this is an independent iPad that I created for kids, and I give it to them, and it gives them for their day. So like share it with them. And unfortunately, I don't think like in PowerPoint, I think you can share presentations. I don't think you can do it for this. I think you have to share and then they press present. But here, it interacts, no problems. Have a good afternoon. It interacts to everything that I want them to do. So say, yep, this is what you've got to do. Okay, click here. This is your work task for the day. Okay, these are the things you've got to do for the day. Click home again. Okay, this is your maths task. Group A, you have to do. This activity opens up a activity the group A have to do. When you finish, click the investigator symbol to return to independent iPads, so you can click on that and theoretically it will open up the independent iPad again. Yeah, so yeah, it's amazing. But it's almost like I've created a website there rather than actually, and you can use a website or whatever as opposed to. But yeah, you've got to teach them. It's got to be in presentation mode as opposed to. Yeah, though they can go through here if it's not in by escape out. If they click on something, if I've shared it to them where it's view only and they can't do anything except present it to themselves, I think they'd still be able to click on the. No, I've got it hyperlinked in a certain way. No, I think. Yeah, so I had a bit of fun playing around with that with one of my assignments last term. It was quite cool. And then you give them all sorts of tasks, and yeah, it's just an independent kind of.
Yeah, I think I need to do it. So I'm not in the office.
Yeah, you should. It's if ever this trading comes up again, I'd encourage people to do that, just because it steers you in the right direction. Because if you just do it online, it's a bit dry and boring. But what I did the level 2 one. I found all the assignments actually quite interesting and fun to do. And even level 1, if I'd done the training, I'm sure there'd be interesting activities with involve whatever.
So how does it work? So just go
level 1, level 2, and then you can become a trainer. You can become can't remember. Basically, you're developing. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, there's a couple of different branches from there. The trainer one, I'm doing. I actually think it's just because the guys are funding for it. So yeah, it's a great course.
So how
All right, hold on.